Hello, gorgeous ladies of the l'anglais, votre meilleur bagage community. Andréane Duquette coming live today for a very, very special moment. So today is very special. This whole week is going to be so special. And I am so excited. There is so much I want to tell you that I want to share with you. Hi, Manon. There is some big news. Like, truthfully, this is what's happening. I have this massive news for you all, and I know that most of you have received the newsletter. If you are subscribed to the newsletter, you probably already got a little glimpse of what's going on over here in the backstage of l'anglais, votre meilleur bagage. So, hi ladies. So, I'm coming live with so much love and so much pride, and there is so much going on. There has been a lot going on, and it was really important for me to come with all my truth and just to share with you everything. And so today, for me, the way I see it, this beautiful Facebook Live today is a moment between you and I where I open myself up in ways that I've never done before. I never thought about doing it. Things were happening, but it feels like recently there has been big shifts, and I really feel a transformation in my identity, and I had to come and tell you about it. So there will be a lot of sharing. There will be a lot of emotions for me because it's the first time I do this. And this week is going to be so magical because it's the big reveal week for the brand new 6-month program that my team and I created in the past 4 months. So this is mainly the topic of the week, but in order for you to understand why I had the urge of making this brand new program, well, I'm gonna have to go through some sharing and some stories that are very, very important. And you will realize that in everything I will be telling you today and this week, everything is interconnected. Everything is linked in a way that I can't even explain in words, but I will try. I will do my best. But most of you, you already know me. If you don't know me, welcome to the LAVMB universe. You can say hello in the comments. Thank you, everyone who's saying hello right now. I am also very emotional, Marie-Pierre. If you're new, say hello. If you're watching this Facebook Live in replay, you can write #replay. I will be reading all the comments at the end. And so, yes, so it's the big reveal week because it's such a huge piece for me. Like, the brand new 6-month program is a masterpiece, and I could not be more proud of presenting it to you and talking about it this week with you. And it's important to understand when we coach people, like the things that we create, it comes from somewhere. It comes from a place of intention, right? And so I want to share that with you this week, throughout the week, okay? So I will be live every day, and then I will be giving you different information and different stories so that you will understand how everything links together. And for those of you who know me already, you probably have heard me talking about the ripple effect. I love talking about the ripple effect because I experience it all the time in my life. All the time. And everything happens for a reason, and you will see with everything I will tell you that, yeah, I just could not say better. I couldn't say it better. Hi ladies, hi, good evening, hello. So before I start with everything I want to share with you today, I have some surprises, and I have prepared a lot of things for you this week. And because it is such a huge celebration for my team and I've decided to gift something this week. So I want to I want someone to be able to participate to the brand new foundation and refinement for free. And therefore, I decided to organize a contest. And there are different rules that I will explain. So what's a contest? C'est un concours. So if you want to participate, if it resonates for you and you want to participate to this contest in order to win the brand new 6-month program, then the action that you want to do is to share this Facebook Live on your Facebook wall. And please write down what resonated the most for you in this Facebook Live. And then you come back here under this Facebook Live and you have to tell us that you did it. Okay, you can tell us I shared the Facebook Live, and tell us also, we want to know also what resonated with you the most in this Facebook Live. And so what's going to happen is that my team and I, we're going to check that you did all the steps, and then we're going to put your name in a hat. And then since there will be one Facebook Live every day this week, so therefore 5 Facebook Lives, then you get 5 chances of winning the brand new FUNdation and Refinement. So I'm so excited. I will be able to, hi Salome, I will be able to gift someone the brand new 6-month program, and this person could be you. So if it resonates, you can participate, and it will be so exciting to announce the big winner on Friday. So Friday night, so I will have these 5 Facebook Lives, but Friday night I will also do a Q&A and a shop with me session on Zoom, live on Zoom, okay? And so it's going to happen Friday night, and also I will do another Q&A and shop with me session on Saturday. I believe it's 1 p.m. I will tell you every day, I will tell you what time is the next thing, okay? So we're gonna go one day at a time. So at the Q&A, so I will announce who's the big winner of the contest, and the person has to be there, okay, in either the Q&A on Friday or the Q&A on Saturday, because it's really important for me to gift this amazing program to someone who really desires it, okay? It's important that this person is ready now. This person wants to just put their English in priority right now. And so it's really important for me that this person is present. And so if you happen to, throughout the week, to decide to move forward because your intuition is like, yes, 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 I'm in, and then you happen to win on Friday night, then don't worry, because I'll just give you your money back, and as easy as that, okay? It's gonna be so much fun. The whole week will be so magical, and I hope you're ready, because my team and I are so ready. Good. So welcome officially to this big reveal of the brand new program, FUNdation and Refinement, which is the 6-month program. Yay! Oh, hello, José. Hi. Hello, Valérie, Sophie, Manon. Hi, ladies. I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you for being here. Okay. So I want to take you back in time. Okay. Today there will be a lot of going back in time, because I really want you to feel and to understand the context on how everything started for me and for LAVMB and FUNdation and Refinement, okay? Because for those of you who are new right now and watching me maybe for the first time, FUNdation and Refinement already exists since 2021. But right now we have this brand new, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning version, and that's why I am so excited, because it's a whole new frequency. And I think by listening today to everything I will be saying, you will understand why the frequency has shifted so much. And this is the reason why I'm going to take you back in time, so you can really notice the shift in everything I've created and the things that have been happening, and I will explain all of that. Allô Manon, un autre Manon, coucou, Michel, allô, Marie-Pierre, hi ladies, great. Okay, so we're going back in time to 2019. 2019, okay, so I want you to imagine 2019, I don't know where you were, but for me, in May 2019, that's when I decided to open LAVMB, l'anglais, votre meilleur bagage. That's how I say it in English, it's faster. J'ai ouvert l'anglais, votre meilleur bagage en 2019, and this is right after I came back from 11 months around the world. I traveled through 15 countries. This was my 3rd world tour, but it was the first time I traveled by myself around the world for that long. And so in that travel, I went, I was traveling everywhere so I could learn a lot of yoga, meditation. I'm also a yoga teacher in life, not currently actively teaching yoga, but I was. This is part of my identity then, right? So I was studying yoga. I had so these tools of yoga just helped me healing so much, right? So I went around the world doing acro yoga, which is acrobatic stuff, meditation, yoga, and then I was teaching English 3 days a week, okay? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the rest of the time I was training and I was practicing, and I got to train and practice yoga with the best teachers in the world, in my opinion. It was absolutely epic. And when you travel alone, I don't know if you have traveled alone before, but when you travel alone, there's a lot of things that happen. You get signs from life, you get messages through people, from God. Like, there's just like, if you are aware, because you're so much with yourself, you're so much in silence, then you see and you hear these things and you feel them as well. And so I had, throughout that 11-month traveling, yay! But throughout the 11 months traveling, I really had moments of breakthroughs. And I did a lot of healing, because I was also, obviously, when you're learning yoga to teach others, then you heal yourself as well. And frankly, I needed it, It was really important for me to to go back with some things that had happened with Disney on Ice, with the past, and just to forgive and to also look in hindsight why these things happened and what did I learn from them. And of course, now today I can see how everything is interconnected, and I had to go through all these things, it all makes sense now, but back then I was like trying to process them and also to transcend that, okay? So I came back from 11 months around the world, meeting the most amazing people, learning from the best teachers in the world. And I learned so much, and I had so much clarity when I came back to Canada of what I wanted to do for my future. Like, the signs were there, the messages were there. I met the right people at the right time. And I came back to Canada and I was like, all right, I have a mission here. So a mission in teaching English, but also a mission in well-being and self-confidence and mindset, and just working on the inner world, okay? Working inward. So I started my company, l'anglais, votre meilleur bagage. But also at the same time, I started my other company that's closed now, but Yoga Elevation, that's when it was born too, at the same time. And frankly, for me, both were related. It was related because my intention as a coach was the same both ways. I wanted their transformation. I wanted to help them. I wanted to show them the way. And after traveling for so long and learning so much and having so many breakthroughs, I felt like I cracked a code, and I was like, I've got the key. Come, that's kind of how I felt in my heart. And so I wanted to share all that wisdom and to share all these learning experiences with my clients. So that's really with that intention that I started my company. And back then it was just me. Actually, no, there was me and Aranza. Aranza made my logos. Aranza was doing my visual, but it was, me and her. So I was doing all the admin and all the teaching and all the everything else, okay? So that was the beginning, 2019. And so for me, that was really the vibe when I started l'anglais, votre meilleur bagage, and it was coming from a place where if I can do it, I know you can do it, right? And it was cool because all the clients, the English clients that I had, they were coming from the yoga studios. So everything that I was coaching them, that I took from my yoga experience and from all the different aspects and different aspects of yoga, because yoga is not just downward dog and upward dog, yoga is in your head, yoga is in your soul, it's in your energy, yoga is everywhere, okay? So I could mix easily English teaching and all this aspect of yoga in my coaching sessions. And so right there, something was brewing and something was happening, and I loved it. I really loved it because I connected so well with my clients. We had so many things in common, and it really changes everything when you have things in common with the person you're teaching every week, right? And so if you have an English coach right now, you probably know how important it is, right? To have a great connection, to have things to say, to laugh together, to understand each other, to be able to feel compassion for one another. And so that's when the energy goes both ways. So it was truly fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And so that's like essentially like what I want to tell you about 2019, how it all started. And now I'm going to take you on the timeline to 2020. 2020, I had planned to spend the winter in Costa Rica and Mexico. And then we all know what happened in 2020. Yeah, we had to go back home because the pandemic hit. So the pandemic was, I mean, it affected everybody's lives. But maybe right now in 2025, you're able to say that it impacted you in a good way. For me, I can say that now. But at the time, yeah, it was a little intense, and we were all experiencing the same thing differently, and it was a weird time, right? And when I came back home, we were all confined, but also I was in a quarantine because I was coming back from Mexico. I had to cut my trip short. And then I remember that, comme la grande sauveuse en moi, je me suis dit, ben là, tu sais, tout le monde est rendu en télétravail. Je vais donner des cours de yoga pour les télétravailleurs en ligne, tu sais. Puis là, dans ma tête, ça faisait tellement du sens. Thank you, Véronique. Fait que je me suis focalisée un petit peu plus là-dessus quand la pandémie est arrivée, parce que oui, là, j'avais mes cours d'anglais en ligne, mais tu sais, j'en avais pas 20, là, on s'entend, parce que dans ce temps-là, je faisais vraiment du moitié-moitié. Fait que j'ai décidé de commencer à donner des cours de yoga en ligne au télétravail, aux télétravailleurs, OK? Et puis, écoutez, dans ce temps-là, il faut savoir que oui, je donnais des cours d'anglais sur Skype pendant mon 3e tour du monde, puis oui, je donnais des cours de yoga sur Zoom, mais en réalité, tu sais, je connaissais pas grand-chose des plateformes en ligne, puis du marketing en ligne, puis toute la patente, OK? Mais là, j'avais une grande vision. J'avais une grande vision de pouvoir aider tous ces gens-là qui vivaient une crise, tu sais, au travail, à la maison, c'était tout ça, là. Tu sais, moi, j'étais dans un contexte un peu différent parce que j'étais confinée toute seule dans mon condo. T'sais. Fait que j'avais pas la même réalité que tout le monde. Puis tu sais, moi j'aime ça être toute seule, ça me dérangeait pas tant. Puis après ma quarantaine, j'étais en mesure d'être avec mon ex. Fait que moi j'avais bien du temps à penser, à avoir bien des idées. Puis ici, vous le savez, c'est une machine à idées. Fait que je me suis dit, je vais faire une plateforme de yoga pour télétravailleurs en ligne. Puis ça va être malade. Puis là, je vais leur donner tous mes trucs, puis tous mes outils. Puis ils vont pouvoir réguler leur système nerveux. Puis ils vont pouvoir se sentir mieux à travers tout ça. Puis en tout cas, vous voyez le genre, là, moi, j'avais une grande vision. Fait que je me suis lancée dans ce projet-là. Puis écoutez, ça s'appelait la station B. B pour être, puis B pour bien-être et yoga en télétravail, OK? Honestly, I put so much time, so much love, so much effort, so much money in that project. And at some point, I realized, okay, like I want to help all these people, but these people, they don't know that I exist. So I need to learn more about social media. And at the time, my relationship with social media was like this because I was like super yogi, super zen. I mean, I'm still a yogi, but I know I'm very different than what I used to be, okay? I had different thinking back then. I remember clearly how I used to think, and I was like zero waste. And there were so many things that I was very yogi, okay? We're going to keep it simple. And so I was not having the best relationship with social media, and never I would have had the courage to do a Facebook Live like I do right now, like never. So I was like, okay, well, clearly if I want to teach online, I need to learn. So from one thing to another, it led me to hiring a business coach online so that she could teach me about how it works on social media, how to do marketing, copywriting, and essentially all the things you need to do to have success online. So I started with her a few months, and then eventually, I think it was 2021, I took a boot camp with her. And in my mind, I was going inside this training, this boot camp, in order to pimp my Station B, you know? I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out how to market it and how to have people from Quebec to know that the Station B exists, you know? So I went in, and now I can tell you that project was not aligned, but I didn't know that at the time. So I went in, and my coach was great because she was teaching NLP, so c'est la PNL, and we were constantly doing meditation. And at some point in one of the meditations, it just came, FUNdation and refinement. And I say that and I'm like emotional about it because it was so clear. Like, I can't explain it, but she was taking us somewhere, like I do with you in the programs, right? And I love these meditations, and I go deep in them, and I love them, you know? And then it just came, and I was like, what am I doing? Why don't I just create that beautiful English program that I've always dreamt about making? And I opened my eyes, I raised my hand on Zoom, and I told her, and she was like, I was like, I think I'm just gonna create something else. And so it started like this, right? However, I used the time with her so I could structure the whole thing. I mean, the name was already there because I was teaching acro yoga workshops, and the word refinement was often in my vocabulary when I was teaching yoga and acro yoga. So refinement was definitely like there. And then fun, foundation, fun. I was like, yeah, that's it. That's how I'm going to call it. I want this to be so fun, you know? And so right then, what I did is I structured the whole thing, but to be honest, I did not create it right then in that moment because it was, well, I had to take care of Station B. I had clients in there. I had to finish the thing and change the formula, and obviously to honor what I started with them and taking care of the people who were in there, because I still helped a lot of people in there, but I saw like the big vision, right? And yeah, it was not aligned. So eventually I closed it and I took some time off because for me that felt like a big failure. It was definitely like un échec entrepreneurial for me. At the time, I took it really hard. I was not, let's say, like all the money I invested, you know, like I never saw the color of that money. Like there was so much so many months, it was almost like a year that I put into that beautiful Station B. And it was just, yeah, a failure. So that was hard. I took a hit on that, you know, it was not easy. But then also I was in a toxic relationship. And also I was tired because I was trying to do everything myself and learn everything from all the departments that exist in the company. I was the one, right? So I had all the hats. And so I had a burnout. I burnt myself out, and then I needed to take a break because I could not continue like that. So I stopped everything for the whole summer. That summer I split up with the ex. Yeah, it was hard because you have to know that for me, in order to go and live with my ex, I sold my condo. So I didn't have my condo to go back to. And then who's the most wonderful person on earth that's going to welcome you back in their house when you break up? My mother, my wonderful mother. But at the time, I was not seeing it that way. At the time, I felt like I was stepping back. I was like, what? Like I was going forward. I felt like I was going in the direction of my dreams, my vision. I want to help people. I want to show them the way. And I felt like I was stepping back, and I still had a big vision that has never changed, you know, that never changed. However, with the mindset that I wanted to have, like I wanted to cultivate like a millionaire mindset. I wanted to cultivate just like a go-getter. I'm all in. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make my dreams come true. I'm going to create my dream life. And so it didn't feel so aligned to do that from my mother's basement. Okay. For me, it felt, ugh. So I just saw my fiance just got online. Hi. so then it was like a really hard moment because, you know, when you have like, you have a plan, let's say, that's what I had. You know, I always have a plan, but I learned with time, with wisdom, that the plans, they never happen the way you planned them. And so I had that plan, and then I felt like I was stepping back, and I was like, well, what the hell? It was really hard. And so luckily, well, I was able to rest. I was able to recharge the battery. I was able to realign myself. And then amazing things started happening, which at the time I was not seeing it like amazing. I was just seeing them like a great escape plan from my mother's basement. But I was offered to dog sit in Lac Beauport. Now, what I'm about to say, all of you who have done FUNdation and refinement between 2021 and last week, okay, you will see, you will understand the backstage of that first FUNdation and refinement, because I'm about to tell you where I was during the recording of the very first FUNdation and refinement. So I was offered to do some dog sitting in Lac Beauport, and it was so wonderful because it was by the lake. So every morning I would get up, I would look at the lake, and I would really close my eyes and visualize that one day I would have a place by a lake. I would have a place looking this gorgeous. One day I will have my own paradise, you know? So that was the vibe for recording FUNdation and refinement. So I was there a while. I recorded there with the beautiful lake in the back. I loved it. And then I was lucky because one of my girlfriend was going on a trip for a whole month. And I was like, ooh, can I rent your house for a month? And so my idea was just to like, for the whole fall season, just to not be in my mom's basement. You know, I had big things to do. And I wanted to just make them happen and not wait, you know, because that's the thing I don't like doing. I don't like to wait. So I rented my friend's house, and I was there for a month, and I was using her space. It was wonderful because she has like one of these house with a cathedral roof, and that's what I used to have at my condo. So it felt like kind of home, and I was like, that would be my kind of place. Love the vibe, yes. So that was great. If I love where I am, then of course the videos are gonna be amazing, right? And so after that, I started going to my brother's house during the day because they were going to work. And he has such a beautiful space, massive windows. We see the trees, and I love nature. I love connecting with nature. It's so important for me. So through the windows, we could see the trees, and I was like, oh, I feel good in this place. That's the vibe. So I recorded more videos there as well. And so for those of you who have seen the first FUNdation and refinement, then now you know the backgrounds and where they come from, right? So 1 month, roughly I would say 3 weeks before I finished the recording of the first FUNdation and refinement. So this is the fall of 2021. Back then, FUNdation and refinement was 3 months long. Okay, so the first cohort was 3 months, and so I was also, okay, I didn't say that yet, but so I was recording. Let's say if I was recording this week, then the girls would be watching the videos next week, and then I was doing the same thing with the PDFs and the videos. So everything was made the week before they were actually taking it and using the content. So it was like this, right? And yeah, at the time I had 4 girls in the first cohort. So it was nice because it was brand new, and this was me with my big project, my big vision, wanting to help. And I had amazing first clients. I will never forget them because they were my first in FUNdation and refinement, and wow, beautiful moments with them. But yeah, so let's say 1 month before the end of the recording of FUNdation and refinement 2021, I started shopping for a house. And because I really wanted to turn my life around, I was not going to just keep being nomadic in Quebec City, going from one house to the other and asking everyone, hey, when are you going on vacation? Like, no, I wanted to have my own place, my own paradise. I had sold my condo. I was like, no, I'm going to find my own paradise. So I started shopping. And this is really important in the story because that's when one of the first shifts happened. And you know how sometimes I tell you, I go first and the universe responds? Well, the house story is exactly what that is, okay? Like, it's just crazy. It's incredible how it happened. Absolutely incredible. So I told you I had 4 clients, right? Out of 4 clients, 2 of them, it was service exchange, just to put things in perspective. But I wanted to find a place that when I would come back, because I was heading towards Mexico for the winter of 2022. So I wanted to know where I would live coming back from Mexico. I didn't want to be coming back to Mexico, going back to my mother's basement and then shopping for houses. No, I wanted to buy my house before and then go to Mexico. That was what I wanted, and that's what I was manifesting as well. So we went house shopping. Let's make a long story short, found my house, and I'm like doing all the numbers and I'm like, okay, I can do it. I can do it. I mean, I just recorded the most amazing program. It's going to work. It's already working because I had these 4 beautiful clients in there that were already transforming themselves. This was a 3-month program. So that was amazing. And I was like, okay, it's going to work. So I bought the house. Okay, so this is end of 2021. Well, the magic that started happening after I bought the house, it's incredible. It's incredible. I had a beautiful, my cohort was full for the winter of 2022. I had amazing clients, like the kind of women that I just love talking to and teaching and giving them all my tricks. It was great. And so that for me was the proof that I'll be fine. Like, the universe has got my back, you know? So that's how it started. So I manifested my house. And that's when also I was listening a lot to Sophie Shag back then. I still do sometimes, but I have another person now that I follow a lot. But Sophie Shag, if you know her, amazing. She talks about manifestation, and oh my gosh. So that was the first big thing I manifested. And we're not talking about a parking spot here. We're talking about a house. Like, it's the perfect house for me. By the forest, it has everything I need, a perfect size for me. Like, it was just amazing. So left for Mexico for the winter. And, you know, like I was telling you, beautiful clients. It was a magical cohort, and it was a lot of work because, again, I didn't have any assistant back then. I didn't have any beautiful Esmeralda correcting all the homework. I didn't have other coaching inside the program. It was just me doing everything. And so it was very intense. But again, I was so proud. I was so happy. It was just the biggest gift for me to see all the girls transforming themselves inside the program. Like, that's the reason why I do what I do, you know? So that felt so good. And then we were talking about manifestation. Well, I'm someone who loves making vision boards, okay? All of you who have done the Pure Beginner program, which is a 10-week program, you've done a vision board on day 60, right? And my team and I, we make vision boards, and we always add things and change things. And when we realize one dream, we add another one. Like, we work like that because it works. It's amazing. I've been making vision boards for so many years now because it's just mind-blowing how it works. So on my vision board in the winter of 2022, I had a big face of a puppy in there, okay? Because you have to know that when I separated from my ex the previous summer, 2021, I also had to say goodbye to the beautiful puppy that we had. And that broke my heart. But I called back the breeder and I said, can I be on the waiting list? I would like a female, please. And then in Mexico in March, because Mila was born in March, I got an email. It was like 11:30 p.m. My eyes are like this big because I worked on the computer all day. And I see an email from the girl. And I'm like, oh, and she goes, we had 7 females. Do you still want one? And I cried. And I said yes, before asking my mother, is that okay if I have a puppy in your basement before I move to my house? But my mom loves dogs, and I knew or felt or hoped that she would say yes, and luckily she said yes. And so, oh my gosh, it was so unbelievable. I was like, Mila is born. And you have to know that not only she was on my vision board, but I was talking to her every morning, because that's what you have to do with your dreams. If there's something you want to manifest in your life, then talk about it, talk to it, create it, print it out and put it on the wall, like put it everywhere. You know what I mean? Like it was for me another sign from the universe, like I've got you. Okay, so I did the actions in order to manifest these things. Obviously, you don't just sit there and manifest. No, you have to make actions, right? And I did. And so when I manifested my house and then I manifested my dog, I was like, whoa, okay, I'm cracking a code here. I'm starting to understand how this manifestation thing is going, happening. So this was, 2022. And those are the main things that I wanted to share with you from then. And obviously, a lot of other beautiful moments happened, but I want to make you travel now to, let's go on the timeline to 2023. At that point, 2023, so there's a moment, so I think it's around June 2023. I'm going to Montreal. As you know, I love doing acro yoga, and there's always a beautiful festival in Montreal in June. And I go there, and I'm seeing all my friends who are bilingual, but you have to know I had been spending many winters in a row in Mexico or Costa Rica, so really Spanish was the language I was speaking for those months, and French and English, of course, with my students, but not with native speakers, So I get to the Acro Yoga Festival and we're just chatting, we're obviously hanging out and doing acro and all that. And then at some point, I realized that my speed and my vocabulary had gone down. And I was like, why am I having so much trouble like speaking like before? And that really got to me, huh? I was mad, I was frustrated, I was ashamed. But at the same time, it's not because I teach intermediate or beginner people that my English level is increasing, And so I was so mad at my environment. I was like, I'm here in this French environment and I'm losing my English. Dramatic, obviously. But I was like, oh, this is no bueno. Oh, no bueno. This is not gonna happen. So I, let that lending and trying to understand, okay, well, what do we do with this? Because then it creates lack of confidence, right? Or, along those lines. And so I was in my frustration and in this disappointment, very disappointed, but that's because I hadn't been putting my focus on that. I had been putting my focus on Spanish. And so at some point, this is like, I don't even remember like the moment, but I just know it came. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna find a place for next winter where I'll be surrounded by English speakers and nobody will speak a word of French. And that's it. I'm going on an immersion. That's a little bit the vibe, that I had. And so I was like, yeah, okay, let's do that. So I started doing some research because obviously at that point I have a puppy and I want to be able to drive to where I'm going because I don't want to take the plane with the puppy because I was going to be leaving in February. No dogs on the plane in February, right? So I'm like, okay, I want to drive. I need a place where there's acro. I need a place where it's hot because might as well, And so I have all my criterias and I start researching. I start asking around. And then a friend of a friend texted me and goes, yo, you should come to St. Pete. And I'm like, okay, why? I don't know about this place, So he tells me everything that he thinks is amazing about St. Pete. I check it out on the internet, look at on Google and stuff, and then I see the sunset. Okay, and for those who know me, I'm a sunset person. I love how I feel about the sunset. Like, I'm a sunset person, okay? So I saw the sunset and it went, again, yes, it was a yes. you know? And in my human design, I have an emotional authority. So I should not take or make decision on the first yes. I have to wait 3 days, okay? But for 3 days, it was like, yes, oh yes, yes. And that was the vibe that I wanted. So I was like, perfect. I made my decision. This is where we're going. And I'll just start organizing, you know, because of course it takes time to organize such a trip, especially when it's the first time. I was going somewhere where I had never been before, where I knew nobody. And I had never driven 25 hours in my entire life, you know. I was a little bit, we're getting closer to the magic. See. So I'm just planning at that point, and I'm starting the research for a house. My decision was made. That's where we're going. I started telling everybody around me, this is where I'll be. If you want to come visit, blah, 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 you know. But then you start looking for a home, and then you see the prices and you go, oh shit. And then my nervous system was like, this is intense. This is very intense. But I could not, like I had that calling that this is where I had to go. I could not ignore that, you know, and everything felt so aligned for St. Pete and all the things I wanted to experience and all the things that, all my criteria, all the things I needed for me and for Mila to be happy. Like, so I'm like, okay, so I kept shopping. And then at some point came the time to make a $1,000 USD deposit for this house that I had found. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is real, you know? And you know the exchange rate, so it was less bad last year, but still. And I'm like, whoo, and then I have all these fears that come up, right? Well, what if it's a fraud? What if I get there and there's no key? What if whatever, you know, it's a long drive. What if something happens? No. Okay. Like I had all these thoughts. I mean, we're humans. We all have fears. It's valid, right? But I'm so glad I did not listen to those fears. So glad. Because, well, obviously I got ready when the time came and then I made my way. But like, because the thing is that the rest of the story that I'm about to tell you, like it's just, I can't believe that I would have maybe passed next to that. I would have skipped that. I would have missed that if I would have listened to those fears. The fears of the fraud, the fears of money, right? But something happened that was super strong, is that when I sent my $1,000 US, and that was through PayPal, so, well, I felt so good. I felt so aligned. And I felt like I was guided or supported. Like in that moment, I was like, okay, it's going to be fine. So I listened to that. I listened to that feeling. And we have to listen to our feelings and to our intuitions and what's going on inside. And we have to listen to that. I'm not talking about the fears here. Okay, talking about here. It's important. And I always say, follow your intuition and listen to your yes and just make the first action and you'll see the ripple effect from that. And that is the perfect example. Because I was scared. I definitely was, but my calling was stronger. What was waiting for me there, I didn't know what it was at the time, but my feeling, my calling was stronger and I was going to let that win the fight. So you have to choose who wins the fight. For anything that you want to do, for anything that you want to create, follow your intuition, follow your callings. I know we all have callings. We're women. We're so powerful. We have to remind ourselves sometimes, and that's why we're here for one another. We are so powerful. We have so much power. We can create anything that we want. You know, when I broke up with my ex and then I had no dog, no condo, no boyfriend, well, You know what was amazing about that moment that was so painful and I felt like I suffered a lot? Well, I had 1,000 opportunities and possibilities in front of me. Like my canvas, ma toile, was white. I could paint whatever the F I wanted on that canvas. We are the creator of our lives. We get to choose. And today can be the first day of your brand new life if you want. Like you choose what you paint on your canvas. You create your life from your choices and from your decisions. And if you start listening to those callings and those moments of intuition and those big yes, 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 then amazing things happen from it. Amazing things. You have to know what you want. You have to know your desires, your dreams. And that's why the vision board is so good for that. Because it helps you see, oh, I do want that. Oh, that would be great, you know? And then you start connecting your energy to that. And you bring your focus on that. Instead of bringing your focus on the fears and the what if and the comfort zone that's a little bit uncomfortable when you really think about it. But hey, you know, because it is definitely uncomfortable to go out of the comfort zone, but that's where we grow the most. And that's why I love challenging myself so much by leaving. I mean, I was so comfortable in my home. I'm like, why am I going to go to this new place where I know nobody and I don't know where I'm going and I've never been before and I don't know what to expect? But I had a calling. I had to follow that. I had to do that. And you know, when we're talking about the ripple effect, after I made my decision, after I paid that $1,000, you know what happened? So much magic in l'anglais, votre meilleur bagage. A lot of new clients started to be coming in and they, like the magnetism was amazing. Old clients from early 2023 was coming back as well. Like we had, like the end of that fall was so magical. And at that point, I was still super serious and like cultivating my mindset. Because it all starts from here, from what you believe and from what you want to believe until you believe it. And so for me, my millionaire mindset was unshakable. I knew where I was going. I knew my mission. I knew my vision. And I was taking big risks. And I was believing. And when you step first, the universe responds. And that has been a sentence I say all the time because since the house story, since I bought my house, for me, that was the proof that, yes, I go first, the universe responds. And it was the same thing with that deposit. I went first, the universe responded. We had the most magical month of December in 2023. I could not believe what was happening. It was amazing. So then that energy was carried towards the beginning of 2024. And again, started the year with amazing clients. They could feel my energy. They could feel that I was stepping up and they were ready to step up with me. Because if I don't step up, how am I supposed to show you the way to step up for yourself? And so when I understood that, it clicked. I had another breakthrough at that moment where, wow, when I'm in my power, my clients are in their power. When I step up, they step up for their own dreams, their own desires. And so beginning of 2024 was very magical. And that's when I made my way here to Florida. And then when I got here, it was not without hardships, okay? Like I had a harsh beginning because my car broke down 10 minutes before I got to the house after, 3 days of driving. My dog got fleas. I was crying. I felt so lonely. Nobody here that I knew that I could call for help. I needed to wash everything for 2 weeks until I figured out what the fleas were because at first I didn't know what that was. We don't have those. I don't have them in my city. So anyway, we have ticks, but we don't have fleas. In here, they have more fleas. So yeah, I was crying. Like, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Why did I do this, right? But somehow my calling was like, Andriane, you're at the right place at the right time. You are okay. Everything is okay. You are okay. So at some point, I have a friend from Disney on Ice who texts me, Andriane, I'm going to be going to my sister's place in Sarasota. Sarasota is like an hour away from St. Pete. So if you're available, we should hang out. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's hang out. Tell me the dates, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, I'm very busy. I'm working from Monday to Friday. I'm not on vacation here. I'm only available on the Saturdays and Sundays. And I'm putting my boundaries and my limits right there. And so he came to Florida and we started hanging out and everything. And what you must know is that this Disney on Ice friend also used to be my lover in 2014 when we were touring Australia and New Zealand. And so we had a magical summer that year, 2014. And yeah, we had been like on and off, like cultivating a friendship on and off, but obviously someone I care about and someone I respect, and I have only a few friends from Disney on Ice that I still speak to. And so he came to visit his sister and I was like, well, let's hang out. So we started hanging out, and then turns out we fell back in love 10 years later here in St. Pete. And now we're engaged. So, you can guess now that my calling was so strong because there was something that needed to be done here. And I could have never guessed that my ex-lover would be my fiancé today. There were no signs, you know what I mean? Like, it was just, I just followed my calling and I came to St. Pete and we fell back in love. Imagine if I would have listened to my fears. Imagine everything I would have missed if I stayed in Quebec because I thought, well, it's too expensive, what the hell? Well, maybe it's fraud, I'm not gonna go and blah, blah, blah. People are crazy nowadays, the world is crazy. No. You say stop to your fears. Stop. Shut it. Because there are bigger things for us. There's a sentence I wrote recently. I don't know if it was in the newsletter but it says, maybe you didn't learn English until now in your life because you had something to transcend with it. And not sometimes, but often, things, they happen for a reason. Things are interconnected. You have to keep that in mind with everything that happens, even the things that are uncomfortable, even the things that you feel pain and that you suffer. Just keep reminding yourself that God sees something you can't see right now. And then you get messages through people. Sometimes it's through yourself. Depending on your spiritual practice, you will get signs. Sometimes there are symbols in the nature. It's everywhere. You have to open your eyes. You have to open your heart. And speaking of opening my heart, before André came to Florida, so he came in Florida at the end of March, well, in February, I took this manifest program to manifest the man of my life. I was like, okay, I'm ready. This is what I want. I knew what I wanted. I knew how I wanted to feel. I knew how much love I could give. I knew all of that. And I took this program and I started working on my magnetism. I was working on my own magic as a woman. I was working on my power, my influence, and then I was testing it out. It's just energy, but wow. It was unbelievable. I was like, this thing is working. I see, I see a difference in people's reaction, the way they look, and it was incredible. So when Andre came to Florida, well, I was in that magic on leg kind of energy, and that was wonderful. But also, it was on my vision board. Not only for that year, it was on my vision board for a few years. Thank you, Manon. But then it's one thing to put it on your vision board and to be like, okay, it has to happen this month or this year. No, you have to be patient. You have to wait for the right alignment for you and for the other person or the other thing. Because remember that what you are manifesting is also manifesting you. But there's a timing to it. Andre and I actually hung out together in 2019 at the end of my world tour. When I was telling you earlier today, I went traveling 11 months. My last destination was London, and I hung out with him 5 days. We didn't fall back in love then. It wasn't aligned then. The divine timing was not there then. But it doesn't mean never. So it's the same thing for all your desires. Thank you, Audrey. Same thing for all your desires. Same thing for all your dreams. They are there in your heart for a reason. And you probably have messages and callings and moments of intuition where it's like, yes. But then when the fears arrive, say stop. And let the calling win. So I'm telling you all this because I'm sure you can feel a difference in who I am right now and the story of who I was when I first created FUNdation REFINement in 2021. So the version that I was back then, I mean, my method has not changed. It has only been enhanced, okay? I used to give you so much coaching for your self-confidence, for your posture, for you to pronounce better. Like everything that I was teaching back then, I still do. The difference, it's the energetics. The difference is who I am today. Back then, I was dreaming my dream life. I would go to bed, close my eyes, and I would visualize all the things I wanted to manifest in my life. I wanted to create this life that I have now. That's the difference, is that now I am living this dream life. 2021, I created it with the best energy and all my wisdom that I had learned from all my yoga teachings and my yoga learning and practice with the best teachers in the world. Like, frankly, like that FUNdation REFINement from 2021, last Friday, so like 3 days ago, I had a celebration call, like a graduation call with one of the ladies, and she said, Andréane, that what I'm the most proud of is that I'm bilingual now. So you would ask me, Andréane, if it still works, and if it still creates transformations like that, then what are you doing? Why are you changing it? Well, I'm changing it because I live in a whole new frequency now, and I want you to be part of it. Everything that I am now, my identity transformed in the last months. Like 2024 was so magical. Honestly, like I could not even believe when I did the overview from the whole year of 2024. I was like, wow, 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 incredible, incredible. And you know what I tell myself now? This is something my mentor says all the time. I say, the best is yet to come. That's the frequency now. Now I have a team of 14 amazing, passionate women. Now I am the CEO of l'anglais, votre meilleur bagage. Now I'm engaged. I have manifested the man of my life, my dream house, my dog. I've manifested this life. Like, there's so much more in my energy that I give you in this new frequency and that I wanted to give you for you to be part of this new frequency. That's why I had the urge of creating the brand new foundation and refinement, because I feel like a new person, you know? That version of Andréane is still here, but there's a whole new version over here. I feel so transformed. I felt a huge shift, and I needed to share that with you, because if I step up in my power, you will step up in your power, and that's what I want for you. So creating a brand new foundation refinement was so close to my heart. I could not wait. I could not wait. And I could not wait till today to finally tell you about it, to finally tell you the backstage of it as well, and how all the shift happened in order for me to feel aligned in creating a brand new foundation refinement. This is a 6-month program. Took me 4 months. It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. I just can't wait for you guys to be in there and to feel everything that I'm teaching and all the coaching as well. Because yes, of course, the English language, we focus on that, obviously. We teach English and we want to refine your English and take it to a whole new level. But the coaching on your mindset, on your self-confidence, on just the pair of glasses, your perspective on everything, your perception on everything. This is what we work on together as well. And then, as you can see, there's a massive transformation between me now and me then. And so I want you to have this energy from now. That's really important for me. And so this urge of creating the brand new foundation refinement comes from all these moments of like, oh my God, I manifested this. Oh my gosh, my mission is so much more now that I've realized this, now that I've cracked the code for this. I want to teach you that. I really feel like I cracked the code of manifestation. I feel there's this like mindset that I have that I just want to go here because I want you to create your dream life, to have your dream job, to realize, to go to these dream destinations that you see when you close your eyes. Maybe you haven't told anyone yet, you know? Oh, Marie-Pierre, I'm so honored as well. Yes. So this is definitely like the main why behind my urge. This transformation is huge for me, and it's just incredible, everything that I've created for this brand new program. So that's why I really needed today to tell you where it all came from and how there's been this big change, this big shift, and you will feel the shift as well in all the visuals you're going to see. Like, it's potent, it's right there, it's in the energetics. And so I can't wait for you to see, to feel, to experience, and to listen as well. Yes, I will read all your comments after this Facebook Live, by the way, okay? So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Now, tomorrow at noon, I will be back on a Facebook Live talking to you about foundation and refinement, okay? And then if you want to participate to the contest that I talked to you about at the beginning of this Facebook Live, if you joined in the middle, I will tell you right now. So I am so excited for this whole week of the big reveal of foundation refinement. I am super thrilled to offer for free to the winner of the contest the brand new 6-month program. So how you can participate to this contest is you go ahead and share the Facebook Live on your wall and write down what resonated the most for you in this Facebook Live, and then come back under here in the comments of this Facebook Live and then write down again, copy paste, write down again what resonated the most for you in this Facebook Live and tell us that you've shared it. so that my team and I can write your name and put it in the hat. And then there will be 5 Facebook Lives this week, so you get 5 chances of winning the brand new foundation and refinement. So this is how you can play, and then the big winner will be announced on Friday night and also on Saturday at 1 p.m. All right? Whew. I could continue because I feel like I have so much more to say, but that's why we do have a Facebook Live tomorrow at noon. Now, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, for staying. I can't wait to read your comments, and I can't wait for tomorrow because I have so much more to tell you. Until then, well, have a beautiful evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, ladies.